What phase are you in your life right now? Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Time With Rella podcast. So, no new thing. I broke down last week. I was sick for the first, I was down for the first few days of the beginning of the week. And then, yeah, something else showed up. But anyway, what phase are you in your life right now? Stay tuned. Being back to creating content, I'm grateful that I can do this. I'm grateful that I can laugh about the things that I'm experiencing. But I think the phase that I am in my life right now is life teaching me not to get comfortable. It's teaching me the process of patience. I learned the process of patience with fitness. Yeah. And I'm in the phase of reviewing maybe mistakes that I've made. Okay, not mistakes, but learning from, yeah, I'll consider those as mistakes, or maybe things that were not good, or things that, like, mistakes I made from not knowing, sorry, not knowing, like, what should I even say? Okay, I'll say that life teaching me the process of patience, allowing things to unfold at its time, in all areas, actually, all areas. There's certain things I am extra excited about, and there are things that I am excited about. The difference is the extra. But anyway, I think that everything that I had processed in the last 5 months, life teaching me patience, really, to step it up a notch, basically. But I'm grateful about it. So I'm in the phase of doing things, taking action, and learning to allow things unfold, learning to allow the process, and learning how to stop exaggerating my time, stop trying to rush things, stop exaggerating how much energy I have to do things, which is why I broke down last week. It was fun to get back to working out and all. But even yesterday, yeah, which I planned to initially record this episode, I had a very bad migraine. And my friend that is a doctor reminded me that your body is telling you that she's tired. Basically, you need to rest. When you feel headache and dizzy, your body is telling you that she's tired. So I just closed my laptop and spent the rest of the day actually hanging out with a neighbor of mine. Yes, we talked different things, especially about business, about life. And I had wine, had mashke, that's what it's called, ice kenke. And yeah, I don't like fufu. I'm sorry. Banku is my food. I don't like fufu, especially when they have fish in the soup. That's not for me. I don't know why I don't like fish in soup. It depends on the fish, but that's that about that. So the phase I am in my life right now is that taking action, allowing the process. I think this part is very important because I've noticed that when I, like, last year when I was trying to be more intentional about my health, I just had one basic thing I needed to do: get to bed early. And I'm going back to that. I'm not negotiating my sleep anymore. Um and sometimes I wake up at midnight, but I still go back to bed. So I'm grateful. I'm really happy. I know that maybe my health may have digressed a bit. Like, why am I saying digressing? Maybe may had like gone back to, not gone back, but me breaking down easily means like I have not been intentional about my health in the past few months. But I'm grateful that lessons are being learned, and hopefully we do not repeat the same mistakes again. So I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be creating content, taking my business more intentional. Now, about the part about not being comfortable, that one is strictly about business. You know, when you have goals and dreams in your life, things you want to do, yeah, and maybe you kind of like, for example, on my side, signing new clients, and you start maybe making a part of the money that you wanted. We kind of like get comfortable sometimes, and that, I think that's what happened to me. You get comfortable, you feel safe, you start to forget your dreams, but that's not allowed. It's like life telling you that you. I hope not to fall into that trap again. And that means being more intentional, trying to stay present, not taking more than I can carry. That's very important. Not taking more than I can work with, because that's how you slip into the always feeling stressed, feeling too tired. Because if I go back, I remember that I just used to feel too tired about doing things that I cared about. So I would say that um that's the lesson for me, basically, not getting too comfortable. Still focused on the things that I want, the kind of life I want to create, regardless of the things that happen. And that is that to me, I think that's resilience. That's what life is teaching. And it's been some lessons. I should say I struggled emotionally. I've been feeling conflicted about different things. Yeah, um reevaluating certain business relationships, work relationships, how I would want to approach this phase and the things that will come. I feel like, even before I went through this whole process of getting through depression and reconnecting with myself, before I never used to be good at visualizing things or even kind of looking into the nearest future. I didn't used to see a future for myself. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound mean. Yeah, but this is the honest truth. Before I went through that process, I did not see a future apart from the things that we were expected to do, just get married and have kids. You know, when you're younger, you want to do things, and sometimes those dreams can get stifled by people by listening to maybe certain limiting beliefs in your environment, certain standards they had set. And for me, that time, I never used to see past those things. And now that I see past it, it's a lot of learning for me, and I'm glad for that death and rebirth. I've been talking a lot about death on my personal page, and yesterday I had to like, yo, this is not like death literally. This is like the other kind of the walking dead kind of feeling. You're just moving through life. You're not living basically. So this is the phase that I am in my life currently. And I'm throwing this question to you too, my awesome listeners and audience. What phase are you in your life right now? How are we approaching this coming days, these moments? Are you reviewing things you would like to change, things you would like to explore more, maybe lessons learned in the last 5 months? How is that moving for you? So, initially, this episode was to highlight like the fact that I think the 1st of June was Global Parents Month, basically, and it was too soon for me to maybe do the things that I wanted to do, which involved like asking people questions, yeah, especially about parenting. I would have loved to explore that topic on the angle of both parents and kids. I'm not yet a parent, but I am a child. I'm somebody's child, and I was once a kid. So it's just keeping it open to having those type of conversations whereby we are evaluating how we can do better in Africa when it comes to parenting. And there's so many, how there's this quote that, or there's this saying, or words that people, like someone has said that, you know what, when I grew up, I didn't have mentors, I didn't have role models. That's me. I didn't have any of those, but I had people I didn't want to be. That's me too, basically. So this is how I would like to approach this whole parenting conversation from. Yeah. So for me, I'll say that I wouldn't want to be an abusive parent. I would never want to have like an abusive environment for my child. I think this would be another episode where I would expand with other people, because I think it is a conversation worth having since we are moving into the stage of adulthood. And I think this whole process of taking this podcast extra serious is helping me redefining something, because I think this podcast is kind of like adulting, basically. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about mental health and everything, but it still leads to adulting, because I remember like the conversation that I had with Dr. Fred when he came on. My main question was, what are the things you look out for as you become an adult? If you haven't, like when it comes to your health, if you haven't listened to that episode, you should check it out. Yeah, it's available. And for me, I think doing this whole thing has is making me search deeper on how I would want everything to expand. Yeah, plans are still coming together. Please be patient with me. We will figure this thing out and we would have more conversations. I am looking forward to it. So from the parent angle, for me, it's like I don't want to have an unsafe environment for my kids. Which, talking about, if I ever open up about when I get to open up about my experience, I'll share some things that I found very unsafe, very that can be a problem between kids and their parents and the relationship they have with them. So I would like to explore this topic with moms, dads, like from different angles. Yeah. And I feel like it is worth having, like I said, and it's for us to do better. And it's not like, to me, I felt like our parents did the best that they could with what they knew. A lot of our parents, like mine, I'll even say they were like, there's no school for parenting. Do you get? And since there's none of that, we need to keep having conversations now so that we don't have to repeat some of the things that we experienced. Yeah. On my part, I experienced a lot of neglect, but it wasn't that they were completely absent. It's just they couldn't, or they were not ready enough to provide certain things. And I think these are like healthy conversations that can help us when we are relating with the next generation. It's like not you completely taking away discipline, but actually not doing discipline in an abusive way. Yeah, it's finding the mutual ground for that. Where I found myself the other day, I wanted to give movie to like kids to watch, and I found myself searching for age restrictions, if this kind of movie is okay for them. I never had that as a child. Yeah. But I really like that I took my time to do that, because I don't want kids being exposed to things that they are not emotionally or mentally ready for. Yeah, I'm open to questions, but I don't want to bring you or expose you to things that no, you're not ready for. So I think that's so much progress on our part, and I am grateful that things are evolving. Yeah, in a very phenomenal way, and I'm grateful for that. So if you want to be part of this conversation, just send me a message on either of the social media platforms or even our email. I think it's hello at Time With Rella. Yeah. Um, I'll respond, or just message me on Instagram if you want to be part of that conversation, so we can pick a date and we all record. I even like to do it as like I love to do surveys for some reason. Probably we'll set up questions for surveys as well. So for this episode, I'm going to stop here. There's still more things to talk about. I'm still trying to find my flow, but I'm very intentional about everything I'm doing these days. And I'm glad I get to share it with you. But my main thing is that I hope, as I am sharing my journey about asking myself about the phases I am in, sharing about my lessons, you also take that time to reflect on how it relates to you as a person. So I'm grateful for you listening. Thank you for spending time with Rella. See you in the next episode. Bye.